Another beautiful day near our House of Overlords. We'll see what's shaking. Public safety meeting. This will be good, I promise. People protesting. There he is, folks. He's got an assault rifle and handcuffs on his lapel pin, and I'm telling you, it just turns me on. I just can't control. I can control my. I guess while we're here and we have a minute, we'll just provide some commentary. Because I think the biggest question is that for all of these gentlemen, is this what a man looks like to you? And I have to ask these folks, do they have daughters? Because there's worse fears than death in this world. But most white men have absolutely no idea about any of them, and it's a tragedy. And so they resort to violence and control because they can't confront their own fears. And they don't want to, so they paint other monsters as larger. It's really just cognitive dissonance. You came to a land that is not your own. You are the largest monster. And anybody who criticizes that needs to be imprisoned in private prisons so that nobody will ever become the wiser. I'm not saying it's the right perspective. It may not be unreasonable to assume that this lady was able to go over what has now been instituted as a 2-minute rule.
Actually lead to their growth. It actually slows down the growth of rural development.
I am president of the Appleton Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm here representing the small businesses in Appleton. Actually, I'm here representing literally.
What we're experiencing again is that we're having an egregious overstepping of the 2-minute limit. Other people are also speaking. And now after the fact, this gentleman has come to harass this gentleman who freely spoke. His name happens to be.
We're going to respect you when you come up here, and we appreciate you do the same. The opposition will get the same opportunity.
This is the product of Minnesota not investing in education. Years of distrust don't allow these words to be believed. And that's a lack of education. It's a lack of access for all communities.
And there's 5 committee meetings, and this one is not important enough. You are misdirecting your energy and your funds and your...
So folks have already gone over the 2-minute limit, now disrupting and ensuring there won't, hopefully there won't be a vote. As has been noted and continues to be noted, there needs to be a fiscal note attached to this legislature. That has not happened, and so that would, there are definitely some legislative and procedural issues with how this is proceeding, and those are hopefully going to be addressed and will continue to be addressed in the future. And really what this is the result of is a lack of cross-cultural conversation or competency. Men and women are completely different cultures. Now this is essentially called a mic check. And this is another one of the instruments that was used at Occupy through the General Assembly. To be certain, really what it is that we are witnessing is a complete overhaul of the legislative system. An educated class that is aware of the civic procedures and the ideals behind them is now asserting their own opinion on how the process actually would be more in accord with the ideals that were espoused in the educational process they went through. Now I believe that what we are seeing are the individuals who are here from Appleton on behalf of their community, which is another community in need in these economically tough times, are being let on out through a back door. I'm not exactly sure why they wouldn't be let out the front door, but so once again maybe we see an example of privilege. I don't know why they are not being let out the front door. This is very confusing. So now what we've experienced is the committee is going to return back in a few moments, and we've been informed that there are police at the door who will eventually see the police behind me. If you do leave the room, you will not be allowed back in because democracy.
Have major difficulties finding employment and housing, and who are prime candidates to return back into our criminal justice system. In fact, but according to the Department of Justice, our prison population more than doubled over the last decade, when the trends in other states are going exactly in the opposite direction. Some form of correctional supervision or control, roughly 95, and over 100,000 who are on probation or under some form of supervised release.
Enjoyable, got to mess with the representatives of our great democracy and mess with their heads. Good days. I think that what was most disturbing was that many of the young women gave their testimonies. There were some representatives who were smirking, staring at their phones and busy. These are people's lives.